Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Path to DevOps series. Today's episode is all about making our life a lot easier. Until today, we've automated our processes either using pipelines or the creation of infrastructure using Terraform. But today, we're going to spend a bit of time using scripting, which is basically the glue to interconnect every piece of our ecosystem. And we're going to use scripting in order to create and destroy the Terraform layers in order. In the future, we're going to do this via a Azure DevOps pipeline. But right now, because we're working locally and we're running Terraform from our laptop or our machine, we're going to do this via a script, just because we're lazy and we want to actually improve our scripting skills too. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. This is exactly where we left off on the previous episode. So now we have two folders, one for environment resources, one for global resources. And when we create the infrastructure with Terraform, we need to respect a certain order. We first need to create the global resources, then wait a bit, and then create the environment specific resources. So in order to do this, I would have to move from one folder to the other and run certain Terraform commands. And when I destroy, repeat the opposite of that process. But because I'm a lazy person, and I hope you are too, because you are basically an automation engineer, or you should strive to be, we're going to automate all of this using scripting. And because I'm most familiar with PowerShell, we're going to create a small PowerShell script. But I'm not just going to create a PowerShell script and show you how cool I am in writing PowerShell. I'm also going to show you how I think when I have to write the PowerShell script and use Windows to help me write the script. So first of all, let's create a file here, which we're going to call create new infra.ps1. And this will be a PowerShell script. So now for the content of this script, we actually need to know PowerShell syntax, but not everyone does. But there's a cool trick in any Windows computer which can help you figure this out. So all you need to do is click Start and then search for PowerShell. And you have here PowerShell ISE, Integrated Scripting Environment. And if we open this, you'll see that you have this sort of PowerShell window with some commands on the side. And the good part is that if you split the screen using this button here, and then you right click on the new script, you have Start Snippets, which also has the Control+J shortcut, but I don't know that shortcut by heart. I just right click Start Snippets. And in here you have Commandlet Advanced Function Complete. So when we're writing a script, we can put just commands in order, or we can write a function. And let's look at how this advanced function looks like. And as you can see here, it's quite complex. So what I want to do is I would like to copy certain aspects from here into my script. And the first part here is the synopsis. It's always good to communicate with the users of your script. Now, obviously, I'm not going to use all the fields in here, just a few of them. So short description, that should be fine. And then an example, I think that's more than enough for whoever wants to run this script. Okay, so basically this is, the purpose is script used to run Terraform layers in order, plus to destroy them in order. And then example, we'll write this at the end. It's basically how you're gonna do something like create new infra, and then you're going to pass in some parameters and arguments for those parameters. Let's say we want a parameter called action, and this could be either create, or we want to destroy. Yeah, so these are the two possible actions our script will do. Okay, and now the way I write a script is I think the logical steps behind the actions I want to take. Okay, so first things first, I need to move to global folder and run Terraform commands. and then I need to move to environment folder and run the tf commands. But these two are conditional, yeah? So if create, I need to do this, but if destroy, then I need to do the opposite. I need to first move to env folder and run tf commands, and then I need to move to global folder and run tf commands. And this set of comments will serve as my skeleton for the script we're going to write. Now, starting to think about the code that we're going to put in the script, first things first, let's think about this. Yeah, so we're going to have an action parameter. In order to create a parameter for our script, we can go back to the PowerShell ISE, and we can see here we have this keyword param. So let's write that under the synopsis here. So this will be param, and then we're going to open a parenthesis here, and going back to PowerShell ISE, there we go. We have parameter mandatory equals true. So this is going to be a mandatory parameter. Whenever we run the script, this needs to exist, okay? And so this needs to be a string. And the name would be action, yeah? Just like we've declared here. Now, one more thing. I want to make sure that whenever somebody runs the script, they only have two options, create and destroy, okay? Because I don't want someone to insert Mickey Mouse into the action parameter and then my script will fail. So we want to do some checks. And PowerShell has a lot of features here. You have a lot of validate keywords here. So you have validate not null, not null or empty, validate set. Now, validate set is something that is actually useful for me, okay, because I can check that my parameter action is part of an array. Yeah, so in my case, I can do validate set, and instead of sun and the moon, like in this example, let's put it here, we can actually put create and destroy. And now if I save and I come back here into the command line terminal and I do create new infra, there you go. It will automatically ask me, because the parameter is mandatory, yeah, mandatory true, it will ask me for the action. And if I do Control C and I do the same thing but I do action, then you see using tab I can actually cycle between the two options that I have, create and destroy. Having added our only parameter in the script, we now need to work into the body of the script. So as I've written here, we need to look into the cases. Yeah, are we creating or are we destroying? Now we can do this using if, an if-else statement, but there's also a second option which I prefer more, and that is the switch case. Yeah. If only I could type. And we're going to do switch of action. And then let's say I forgot the syntax, okay? Again, don't get scared. You have the PowerShell ISE at your fingertips. So you can go here, start snippets, and if you scroll down, you have switch statement, yeah? So it will show you exactly how to write the block. So switch of whatever, and then inside the accolades you have various cases, yeah, and you can do script blocks, you can actually do strings, you have a default block in case none of the options match. So in our case it's pretty simple. We can do switch of action, and if action is create, then we do something, and if action is destroy, then we do something else. Okay, sounds fairly simple until now. So as we said, if the action is create, we need to move to the global folder and then run some commands and then move to the environment folder. So how do we move to a different folder in PowerShell? Well, first of all, we would need to know the folder path. And because our script sits in the same location as the folder, what we can do is we can actually interrogate the script about its location. Now, I don't know how to do that by heart, so as always, our friend Google can help us. So PowerShell script location. Okay, so what's the best way to determine the location of the current PowerShell script? And if you scroll down, there's this automatic variable when you run a script, which is called ps script root. Okay, so inside our script, if we do this will be equal to the path our script runs from. And from here, we just have to move into one of the folders, right? So in our case, we can do push location. Yeah. So push location will actually move us into that folder. And if we do this, let's add some quotes because we want to transform this into a string. And then let's add a slash, yeah, and then let's do environment. All right, and in here we can do print working directory, yeah, which is basically get location. Okay, so now that we've done this, let's run our script. Okay, action is going to be create, so that we enter this branch of the switch. And there you go. Yeah, the path that we are getting outputted from get location is actually the folder we want to be inside of. Okay, the environment folder. So this shows us that this simple logic right here is all we need to do in order to move inside of the folder. So that being done, let's start running our Terraform commands. So the first one is Terraform init, followed by Terraform apply minus auto approve. All right, so once we've done this part right here, we want to move into the, first we wanted to move into the global folder. I missed that. And then we copy the same snippet of code. I know we're duplicating code, but that's not the point. We're focusing on writing a script, not writing the best script possible. And here we have environment. All right, so now that we've done this, we can actually copy this whole location here and go into the destroy block. Yeah, and we can copy. There we go. Let's indent and delete these comments, which were just the skeleton of our script. And we can copy everything from here. So first we move into the environment folder and we want to destroy auto approve. There we go. And then we move to global and destroy. Yeah, so this should be our script, although I would prefer my scripts to talk more to the user and actually tell them what they're going to do. So I'm going to add some verbosity here so that the script talks to me as I run stuff, so that I'm not scared I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, because running these Terraform commands will not necessarily tell you where you're running them or what command exactly it's running. So I can implement that in my script. For example, here I can write verbose and I can say, let's do a small change here. Let's do outside of the switch statement. Let's create two variables, global folder, which will be equal to this. And then let's do environment folder, which will be equal to this. All right, so now we have two variables which both contain the path to our respective folders, and we can now use the variables in here instead of always creating the strings. Yeah, so environment folder here and global folder here. And now we can use the variables as well for more verbosity. Yeah, so write verbose running inside global folder, command is apply. Okay, and minus VB. So now when we run this, it will actually tell us what it's doing, and we can put it here as well. Command is apply. This looks good. And now let's put the same message for destroy. So running inside the environment folder, command is destroy. And copying it one more time. And command is destroy, but this is global folder. All right. And at the end, we can do pop location. Yeah, because we've pushed this location, which means we're moving into that location. At the end of the script, I would prefer moving back to my original location, okay, where everything started. In my opinion, the script is now done, so all that remains is for us to actually run it and create the infrastructure. As you can see here, now I moved back to the right location of the script, and it's telling me running inside of this folder, command is apply, and it's initializing the backend. Terraform has been successfully initialized, and now it's waiting on the apply command. So I'm going to fast forward this for you guys, so you don't have to wait a lot until we get to the end, and then I'm going to show you exactly what happened. A few moments later. Okay guys, and here we are a couple of minutes later, well, between 5 to 10 minutes later, all our infrastructure was created. And don't worry if you don't believe me, let me show you. So if we go into our Azure portal and refresh, you can see here that we have our global RG with the DNS zone and the container registry. And we also have the dev RG, which contains the MySQL database, the child DNS zone, the public IP address, the Kubernetes cluster, and also the virtual network. Now, last time we haven't actually put the nodes of the AKS cluster into the VNet, so this is something we're going to do in the future. Don't worry, I know that. I haven't missed that on purpose. We were just adding the resources to IAC. And right now we also have this amazing script which makes things easier for us, because now I can just click one button, go grab a coffee, and when I'm back, all my infrastructure was either created or destroyed. Now, getting back to this, there are two changes that I want to make to the script. The first one is, you noticed when the run finished, I was in the global folder. So I want to go back here, and actually the pop location, I will cut it from here, and I need to put it at the end of every branch. Yeah, so after every run, I want to be back where I started. That's first. And also, second thing, I don't like the name of this script. I don't want a script called create new infra to also have the possibility to destroy. This means the name isn't appropriate to the purpose that I gave the script. If the script has create in the name, it should only create, not create or destroy. So what I'm actually going to do is rename the script, and I'm going to give it, I'm actually going to show you a secret first. How do I know the way to name a script in PowerShell? Well, in PowerShell, everything goes after a verb and noun, so verb minus noun naming convention. And right now we are respecting that because we have create, which is a verb, and then new infra, which technically is a noun. Let's not get into that. But the purpose is, how do I know what verbs I can use? And you have the command get verb in PowerShell, which will also show you all the verbs you can use and the group they're part of. And what I find useful for our exercise is actually set, because right now I'm setting the scope for the infrastructure, which is either to create it or to destroy it. So I'm going to rename the script from create new infra into set IAC. Yeah, so I'm setting infrastructure as code, and because I've changed that, let's change the example here as well. There we go. And now it makes more sense. Yeah, I'm setting the infrastructure as code. Either the action is to create or the action is to destroy. Okay, and that's basically it. I'm happy, I'm satisfied with the script right here. I'm going to push this into the GitHub account as usual so that you can check it. You'll find the link down in the description. But that is it, guys. I'm going to run the same script, set IC action destroy. I don't want this infrastructure. And now I can go grab a coffee or just end this video, and everything will be deleted for me. I don't have to spend time thinking about it. Okay guys, this is it for today. If you're still here through the video, thank you so much for giving me your time, and I'll see you in the next video when we will actually add more functionality to our infrastructure, and eventually we're going to put this Terraform implementation into a pipeline so that we don't have to worry about running it from our laptop. Thank you again, and I wish you a great rest of the day. See you next time. Cheers.